I've seen many big shifts in Google search over the years. Broad match modified, performance max, LLMs, but the upcoming changes with Google Ads AI mode is potentially the biggest, as we're starting to see a merging of paid and organic. And if you don't adapt your strategy within the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to get left behind. If you're not already using Broad, let alone AI Max, then you're going to be really left behind, because these are fundamentals to running ads in AI mode. In this video, I'm going to talk you through what's changing, where things are heading, and how we're getting on the front foot with our clients, and how you can too. So what's changing and where are things heading? Google is in the midst of rolling out a new feature called AI mode, which is ads being shown within AI Max for longer, more conversational queries. So think you're in Gemini, you're in Google search, and you're searching for a solution to a problem you might have. Now that might be you're searching for foot pain, and that could be a long conversation with Gemini about diagnosing your foot pain. Now towards the end of the conversation, Google will then suggest a product for you, and that could be a specific running shoe based on your foot pain. What we're seeing here is a complete merging of paid and organic. So previously, where you might have searched for running shoes as an exact match term, now that query has turned into a full conversation, and your product could be recommended at the end. The overarching trend here, as we've had now for a few years, is that conversations with Google are getting more and more conversational, and they're getting longer, which means as PPC advertisers, we've got less control. It's less about showing a couple of specific headlines for a specific keyword and directing traffic to our site. It's now about feeding Google as rich information as possible to ensure that our product is recommended at the end of that conversation, which might sound scary because there's a loss of control and there's a loss of specificity, and that is true, but ultimately this is the way Google is going, and we've seen that with Broad, we've seen that with AI Max, and this is just an extenuation on that. And if you don't adapt within the next 3 to 6 months, you will get left behind, because advertisers are going to be jumping on this bandwagon, and we're already seeing that Google is effectively more able to monetize these longer conversational queries. So if you don't adapt, then other advertisers are going to get on this, and your product's not going to be the one they're recommending in those longer conversational queries that people are typing into the search bar. For example, I'm attending Edinburgh Fringe this weekend. I'm disorganized, so I hadn't booked any acts in advance. When I'd searched for certain acts I wanted to see, there was nothing available. So I went straight into ChatGPT, and I had a long conversation about my tastes, what I like, other comedians I like, and then it recommended me certain smaller up and coming acts that might be good for me. Now, a few years ago, that just wouldn't have been possible, but now that is. And we're seeing that trend not just with services and events, but also with products and commercial-based queries that you could be searching. So there really is an untapped opportunity here for advertisers to feed their ad platforms with new signals, and I'm going to be talking you through what some of those things are we can be doing, given there's a lack of control here from an exact match keyword perspective and a exact copy perspective. There are still attributes we can be feeding Google, and what this will come back to is ultimately feed optimization. It's giving Google more information about our product, and that will be through the feed. What we're seeing here is a growth in keywordless targeting and an increase in feed-based targeting. So you'll still be able to give Google longer tail attributes about your feed, rich documentation, FAQs, etc., so that Google has got more information about your products, so that it can effectively pick and choose certain elements, certain information about your products, and then make or craft the ad around that, whether that's a shopping ad which has been optimized by Google and the landing page has been chosen, or that's a search ad where Google has selected the certain headlines for you. So what does this mean for Google Ads? As markets and product features change, how we search is changing. You're only going to see more and more of these longer conversational queries as people get used to searching into Gemini and expecting that they're going to get a good result back from that conversation they're having. So what this means is search is now becoming less of a bottom of funnel product. Previously, you could only really get efficient performance on search ads by bidding on lower funnel queries. Whereas now with Broad and AI Max and now ads in AI Overview, you're going to be able to get maybe less efficient, but you're still going to be able to get efficient return on ad spend through those longer conversational queries, which is great because you could actually take someone from the bottom of funnel right through to conversion, or even top of funnel right through to conversion, all in a single session. So it's less about only being able to advertise on bottom of funnel queries now. You've got access to basically the whole funnel. So what does this mean for your strategy? This basically means that you can't avoid Broad Match and you can't avoid AI Max because they will be prerequisites to running ads in AI Overviews, because longer conversational queries are only going to match through broad terms and they're only going to match through AI Max. AI Max will be kind of necessary. It'll be a necessary evil because on these longer term conversational queries, you're going to need to give Google more landing pages with a final URL expansion to enable it to effectively test and determine the exact landing page it shows, and effectively test and determine itself which ad copy is going to be used within that. So if you're not already using Broad and AI Max, I'd recommend testing those now and integrating those into your ad strategy in order to be able to effectively test this when it rolls out fully. So what can you do about this and how can you prepare? Most of our clients are UK based and this isn't rolled out yet. So what we're doing is we're taking a cautiously optimistic approach. I'm often fairly skeptical of Google products when they're first released. You know, AI Max, when it was first released, was very inefficient. It had lots of junk traffic in there, and the same for Broad when it first was released. But I'm cautiously optimistic over the long term that this will get better, and it will be a great opportunity for advertisers to tap into more traffic, basically. So as we move towards keywordless targeting, the feed is going to be much more important. So there's going to be a separate job to do, and it's going to be a question as to whether this is done by PPC teams or SEO teams, but feeding in rich product details, documentation, all of these attributes, which I'll link down below, and you can see our guide for how to effectively prepare yourself for these upcoming changes. So we are starting to build out these conversational attributes, starting to add these documentation, starting to add longer form FAQ pages so that Google has much more data to be fed into the AI overviews. I'm hearing from Google reps that they are going to start integrating more reporting within the Google Merchant Center to show that how you are showing up in AI overviews. Right now, the reporting is, well, there isn't any. You've only got what you can see in AI Max, which is very limited. Now, we will need that reporting so that we can start to better optimize our feed towards the queries which we are showing up for, and start to optimize our landing pages to those longer conversational queries. Right now, we're taking a cautious approach. We're starting to work on better feed optimization with our clients. You might have seen my other videos on optimizing your titles and descriptions with Claude Code. I'm going to do a separate piece on optimizing your feed for ads within AI mode using Claude Code. I'll link that down below once it's ready. So where does this leave us? Broad, AI Max, and now ads in AI overviews is only continuing the trend of keywordless targeting. And it is really unavoidable at this stage to not be doubling down on these changes that Google are making. If you don't want to be left behind, I think you're going to need to lean into these changes because they're not going anywhere. And conversational queries are only going to, in my view, explode over the next couple of years. I've put together a short guide linked down below which shows you the AI attributes that we are using with our clients and based on Google's best practice, enable the rich overviews to be as rich as possible. The link will be down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.